Hello, welcome back. This is James Camp, your friendly computer science professor at Lee College in Baytown, Texas. And I'm here to talk today about structs. Okay. We have in the past talked about arrays. Arrays are boxes of, long boxes of memory that are divided into evenly sized pieces that hold ... that each hold the same kind of information. So you might have an array of int or an array of double. You could even have an array of bool in which each little box is one bit. Okay. But there are some cases where arrays are useful, where you have a list of the same kind of value. And there are cases where arrays are not so useful, where you have maybe several different kinds of values that you want to group together. Consider, for example, a student living on campus or working on campus, maybe a faculty member working on campus, something like that. They're going to have a name. Joe Smith, I'll be creative here. Okay. They're going to have a place on campus. Maybe a building, we'll call it Bonner Hall 105. And let's say this is a student. They're going to have a GPA. We'll make Joe Smith pretty smart. He's got a 3.8. And he's got a number of semesters that he's been here. Maybe he's not so smart because he's been here 11 semesters and he still hasn't graduated yet. Okay. But you can see these are different kinds of data. We've got two strings, and then we've got a double, and then we've got a integer. So the fix for this is to create a type of variable called a struct. And that struct has room for Joe Smith here, and we call that part of the struct name, and it's got Bonner 105. We call that room. Okay, that's his dorm room. And we call this GPA 3.8. That takes up a block. And we call this semester, or sim for short. That takes up an integer sized piece of room. Okay. And that's the whole thing. Okay. Now, student 1 might point to this whole... Student 1 might be the name of this whole struct. But within that, there's a part called name, and a part called room, and a part called GPA, and a part called sim. And if we want to access that, we would write student1 dot name, or student1 dot sim. Let's say he just finished another semester. So student1 dot sim plus plus, we'll come over here and change sim from an 11 to a 12. Okay. Structs are very handy when we're dealing with groups of related information that we want to keep together Um, it could be anything from, if we were tracking a baseball hit, you might want to track the name of the player who hit it, and how fast the ball was moving, and what angle the ball left the home plate at, and how far it went before it hit the ground. Okay, so those are all little bits of information, and we could have an array for each one, but that would be difficult to keep track of. It's much easier to have an array of a struct called hit that then has fields, we call them, field batter and field distance and field speed and that sort of thing. Okay. So you'll learn more about structs in today's lecture as well. Hope this gives you a decent first overview of them. Get on with your studying. Good luck and happy programming.